obviously breakups can be painful, but really sitting down and learning, like, what have I learned? How have I changed? Like, what am I not going to tolerate? What I am going to tolerate in the next relationship? I think is all really good things to think about before getting into another relationship.
Hello everyone, I'm Erica.
And I'm Akilah.
Welcome to HeartsChat.
Tonight we're talking about lessons learned from breakups. So I saw something online one day, like a post about breakups, and I was like, you know what? That's what we should talk about, because they're difficult to go through, and you got all that, that goes into it, but there's definitely lessons learned, the positive part of it, which leads to a lot of good things. So we thought, in the spirit of Valentine's, the spirit of February, we would talk about that tonight.
Yeah, it's just actually funny because when we started talking about this topic, it just brought up like Ariana Grande's "Thank You Next" song.
Oh,
it's such a positive spin on breaking up with someone and learning lessons from your exes.
Oh yeah, right. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, but that's so true. Yeah, I love that song.
Me too, girl. But it's I think I really enjoy that song simply because I know obviously breakups can be painful, but really sitting down and learning, like, what have I learned? How have I changed? Like, what am I not going to tolerate? What I am going to tolerate in the next relationship? I think is all really good things to think about before getting into another relationship.
Exactly. And let's start with that. Before you get into another relationship. So, we've all heard that time heals all, but, and that's so cliche, but it's not just time alone. It's
Correct.
what you do. It's like what you do, what you spend your time doing. That's, the key, because you definitely got to give yourself time. Like, you do want to do that, to just be. Whatever that is, you might not feel like going out with friends or talking on the phone or whatever it is, and that's fine for that period. So, be patient with yourself. Don't expect to be over it in 2 days.
Yes.
Don't force or rush yourself, because you need to heal. So no matter how it ended or no matter how it ended or how hard, you wish you could move on, just embrace that time of grief, because it is a grieving period.
Very much so.
And that will save you worse feelings in the future. So that's my top one.
No, I can definitely agree with that. And I really, really like how you said that is a grieving time, because, more often than not, people think of grieving time as when somebody passes away. When in reality, grieving can be like the loss of an idea, loss of a relationship, loss of a job. It all kind of triggers the same emotions and same feelings. So it's Erica, you're absolutely correct when you're saying, like, it takes some time and to be patient and not to rush everything. I really like that comment you made.
Yeah. What do you think, Akilah?
I think it's going to be really, really important to kind of, like you said, not rush into the next relationship, because I find that oftentimes, like, when dealing with some of these pain and of a breakup, you want to kind of fill that pain with something new and exciting and fresh. But really, if you're not healed, then you're really just kind of using that person to kind of get over someone else, which isn't really fair to the other person who may be really truly looking for a relationship.
Right.
So, it's important to recognize your feelings and recognize what you're trying to do, and be as open and honest with the other person. If that is something you do, get into a relationship right afterwards, but be open and let the person know, so then they can decide if this is something they want to wait out, if they want to stick with it, like all of that stuff. I think having that open communication when any situation is important.
Oh, 100%. Definitely agree. And I think the biggest lesson you can learn with time, like giving yourself time, is you learn how long it takes for you to heal. You kind of learn, like, what works for you, and you learn, what do I need to do? What's going to help me? What's going to cheer me up? Who do I turn to? Who are my supports?
Correct.
Who was there, who was able to help me? Because we all have like friends, like this friend makes me laugh. This friend is funny. This friend, we go shopping. This friend just talks about what they got going on. And sometimes it can be helpful. Yeah, it can be helpful to hear about somebody else's problem, so you're not just stuck thinking about your own situation. And you learn, because when this happens, like, you do have, hopefully you have support. We talk about that a lot. Make sure you have your supports. But what it comes down to is you have yourself, and what are you going to do? So you'll learn a lot about yourself and how you persevere, and you'll figure out how strong you are. When you have a challenge, something that's tough, and you look back and you're like, oh, how did I ever get through that? And you learn, well, I did X, Y, and Z. That's how I got through that. And you can use that for your next situation. It might not be a breakup. It might be a breakup. But whatever it is, it's information to you to know that I went through this. I can get through that next thing.
Yeah. And I think another kind of aspect of the things you can learn is kind of what we briefly touched on, was kind of like what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate in your next relationship. Because I think it's so important to kind of be aware of your boundaries, or try to figure them out if you don't know. Taking each relationship and each experience and learning from them and learning how to grow from them and learning what to do and what not to do. I think that's really, really important in that time as well.
Exactly. I think another thing is sometimes it's not the other person. Sometimes it's you.
Very true. We don't want to hear it, though.
Yeah. But if you ever notice that, maybe if you've heard something more than one time, maybe from a variety of people that, truly care about you, truly know you, and maybe they pointed something out to you, or maybe it's a boss or a certain trait that you've noticed over time, like, okay, such and such said that same thing too, maybe it's time to think about that and to look at that and work on yourself before you get into a next relationship. Maybe that's something you got to really, get together.
No, I completely agree on that one. I was just having that conversation the other day. It's kind of like, maybe it is sometimes us and kind of think about like what your impact and what you're giving to the relationship is important. I think that's exactly what you said, Erica. Like, that is so true. But sometimes we don't want to look into ourselves.
Right. It's hard.
Oh yeah. Definitely hard to kind of say, oh yeah, it was my fault.
Yeah, because you do, like, when you break up, like, you kind of think, and you're like, you replay things and go, I could have this, I could have did that, if it's only this, only that, so imagine having all that, and then you're thinking like, oh, well, I didn't do this, it's all my fault. Like, that is hard. But what you can learn is you can recognize patterns and keep that in mind, and you can work on it and, move forward. You'll be better for it. It taught you that. If that never happened, you would never learn that.
Yes, I agree. I think something else to add in too, when going through a breakup, it's important first to know if the relationship is really over, I feel like, before telling close friends and families about everything. Because what ends up happening a lot of times, I've seen, it's like people will break up and then you go talk to friends and family, and then, now the friends and family have like a bad taste in their mouth about this person, and then you get back together.
Yeah.
So it's really, I think, taking that time for yourself a little bit, and then making sure that it's not like, because I feel like this happens a little bit more with, I guess, longer relationships.
Yeah.
Versus like a month relationship, because most people aren't meeting people's families that fast. Well, sometimes, but not always. But I have a family member who it happened multiple times, and now a lot of people don't like their significant other, and And it's awkward now because you're kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, for me personally, I'm like, hey, you got to do what you got to do. It's not, it's like, it's your life. Whatever makes you happy makes me happy. But not everybody thinks like that.
Right. There was this episode I saw on The Real, and they were talking about, like, if you break up, do you have to post it on social media? Let's say, like, you used to post about your significant other all the time, all your little pictures and everything, and then, like, I don't see your pictures anymore because they broke up. Like, do you owe social media an explanation for, your relationship goals? Now you broke up, and now nobody says anything. You were posting everything. Now, are you supposed to post about your breakup? Like, that was the debate.
Interesting. I mean, I don't think you really owe anyone anything. Mm-hmm. But I would be like, why did they not post it if they post everything else? Right. Like, if it was somebody that didn't post at all, okay, I get it. But if this person's like posting constantly about everything and then they don't post about that, like, what was the issue?
Right. They were like, we're invested now.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Exactly. What happened?
Yeah. But I think that's normal though, because most people only post their highlight reel anyway. You only post the good stuff. That is so true. Yep. So what you're going to do when you have a breakup, you're going to like post your really good looking pictures with you doing what you're doing, or, whatever.
Just minus a person.
Yeah. You're still going to post your best pictures looking good and everything else. Yeah. So, but I don't think they owe anybody explanation.
No.
Like, of course, you kind of want to know, but for me, I think other people probably want to know. For me, I'm like, it's none of my business. Whatever. Yeah. But then again, I'm the kind of person that I'm not going to post in the first place.
Very true. That's the other aspect of it.
Yeah. I mean, of course, if you want to post your life, post your life. But I mean, everybody want to do what they want to do. But like when you do that, like you said, and kind of people have the expectation that you're posting everything else. So like, what happened? I want to know.
Exactly. No, I agree. I mean, that's a whole, I think, other episode we can talk about social media and relationships. But
yeah, definitely. It's a whole other thing.
Whole other thing. But yeah, no, I think, like you said, Erica, like, it's really about taking that time after a breakup to like heal and really like self-analyze and look at everything to kind of see how maybe in the next relationship that won't happen.
Yeah, exactly. And a great way to do that, you could write about it in your journal.
Yes.
Look back at it, if you want to. Sometimes if you kind of get in a funk and you really want to think about like, how far have I come? Like, look at what you write about.
Yes, very true.
Great reflection. But yeah, everything, works. Everybody's different. Everything works differently for everybody. Mm-hmm. But these are some tips that we think, are pretty universal, pretty standard. Yeah. That you can at least try and see. And then if you try and you're like, I don't really know, like give it a little time, I would always say try it more than one time. Just don't try it, because sometimes it's things that you don't want to do that can actually be helpful for you. It's because it takes a little bit of, you don't want to feel it, you don't want to think about it, but it can really be helpful. It can if you just give it a try. And either way, you learn, okay, I gave it a try, a fair try. This helped or this didn't. Let me move on to the next thing.
Exactly. I agree.
All right. Well, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to HeartsChat today, where we speak from the heart. We hope that you enjoyed our show. Catch us every Sunday and Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel and on our website, which is HeartsChatRadioshow.com. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages at HeartsChat Radio on Instagram and at HeartsChat on Twitter, Facebook, and Periscope.
We love to hear from you. If you have any comments or questions or topics that you want to hear about, you can email us at HeartsChat@HeartsChatRadioshow.com. And for all of your personal relationship questions, please visit my blog from ericasheart.com. Thank you for listening to HeartsChat, where we speak from the heart.